Hello, it's John Sheek here from UniTasterDays, and a really warm welcome to this on-demand webinar. With these events, we provide guides to studying different subjects at university, and today is the turn of fine art. So we're going to be looking at things like why you might be interested in studying the course, what to expect on it if you did study it, application tips and careers. But the most important thing about this, and also the hundreds of other topics and subjects we've covered, is it's completely impartial. It's not about promoting a particular university, it's about telling you more about the course at university. And today I'm joined by Dr. Simon Harris from the University of Wolverhampton. So, Simon, I'm very conscious that people have tuned in to hear from you, not from me. So, let me come to you with the first question, and that is quite simply, why should students consider studying fine art at university?
I think any student that has a passion or a drive to respond to the world creatively would be ideally suited to studying fine arts at undergraduate degree level. I think anyone that also likes to respond with a practical manner, likes exploring the use of materials, has a thirst for critical analysis and questioning the world that we live in and the ways that we can approach it. These are all ideally suited for fine art.
Great stuff. So let's just move on kind of to the what should students expect or can the student expect? So say you've got a student that is interested in studying fine art, but they perhaps have studied subjects when it comes to A levels or GCSEs before that, and it's not a choice you often see. So they might not have much of an idea what to expect. Do you mind just giving us an idea of what they can expect on the fine art course?
Yeah, we're very mindful actually of that shift from the way that sometimes the art and design subjects have been dealt with at GCSE and at A level or BTEC, and that shift of then moving into the degree. So we are very open-ended. We're a studio-based course, and we really look to fuse both practical and material approaches with contextual and theoretical frameworks that are really designed to support students to have a sustainable practice as a professional artist. So a lot of the course is often addressing what it is and it means to be an artist in contemporary society. So the course is very much designed to build on those skills. We don't expect the students to come in week one and be fully formed. It's about finding what their interests are. So whereas previously they may have been responding to briefs or themes, we actually invest a lot of time in finding out what the core interests that the students are, and then developing methods that this can be approached, whether that's materially, practically, or conceptually. So thinking through the ideas and how they can be developed. We're 100% coursework, and our assessments are usually through exhibition. So students will present the work that's been developed, and that's usually supported with portfolios that go with it.
And I bet a lot of people hear it's 100% coursework and are perhaps be quite relieved, certainly
Yes,
those that
yeah,
are
yeah.
interested in the creative subjects. Right, then let's move on now to applications. This is going to be a tricky one, perhaps, because I know everyone kind of
Mm.
does things differently. And one question, no doubt, students will have is about portfolios. And some unis, I think, hopefully I'm right with this, Simon. Some unis want portfolios, some don't.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have portfolio reviews. We find, and I think it's important to note that the portfolio review is not an exam. It's an opportunity for us to have a discussion, for us to have a look at the work that the students have been building on. And really, it's that first point of that discussion that will lead through to the degree in the students developing in their practice. So quite often when we're looking at the portfolios, something that I'm particularly interested in seeing is an enthusiasm for the work that's being presented. Um, Quite often that work will be work that's been developed through the coursework as they've led towards that portfolio review. But also I think it's really important to include work that may not have been included for the assessment or work that they're developing at home with interests and ideas that they're developing that don't fit into the themes that they've been given through school and colleges, but actually have a real desire for. And that's often the really interesting bits of the discussion that we have through the portfolio review. It's also a real opportunity for the applicants, the potential students, to ask us further questions of the course, see the environment. An art school is very different to sort of state schools and colleges in terms of the way that we deploy our space. So, for example, our building was purpose-built as the art school and was opened in the 70s. As such, we've got really large, spacious studio spaces, and our classrooms are studios. The students have that space that they can set up their work and they can leave their work out and they can come and go to it, and we can have tutorials in. So I think that portfolio review is also an opportunity for the applicants to see how these spaces work and see students in them.
And I've got to say, like some subjects about open days are really important, and
Yeah.
this like type of subject areas because you're looking at the facilities, aren't you? You're looking at, it's not just a case of looking at lecture theatre after lecture theatre, it's creative spaces, and yeah, big shout.
And it's the way that you access the creative spaces. So not only do they have kind of this dedicated studio, our building is open from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, Monday to Thursday, 6:30 on a Friday. We have an early finish on a Friday. But the students can access that space at any time they want. So it really does lend itself to that independent study. Them developing their ambitious as well in the scale, but that's also supported with the workshop resources that we've got. So dedicated printmaking areas, we've got dedicated woodwork, photography, glass, ceramics, all of those kind of creative industry resources are within the building. We're 7 floors, and yeah, the students can access any of those provisions. I like to think of it as one of the best playgrounds there is.
But it's interesting you say that. And this wasn't one of the things I was kind of planning to discuss with you, but it has made me think. When I went to uni, I went to uni at the same time as my now wife. We weren't married then, but we are now. And she studied fashion design, and I studied business. And it just takes me back. Like I was in uni like 8 to 10 hours a week, and that was I
Yeah.
go in and go out, and she was there all the time. 'Cause, creative subjects, and it does. It's very different, isn't it?
It is, I think, because we talk a lot about the idea of community and creative communities, and that's certainly something that we like to think of within our studios. That there's somewhere where that you dwell, that you can have conversations with like-minded people, that your ideas can also be challenged. It's a safe enough environment that kind of healthy challenge can be made around ideas and discussions. But yeah, it really is. It's not a nine to five. It's in a sitting in a classroom being taught at. It is very much the students' experience is absolutely paramount, and the students will gain more from it the more they engage and the more that they put into it. And I think, yeah, it's one of the things that for me makes an art school really exciting.
I bet, and actually, a lesson for life, isn't it? Like, ultimately, the more you put in, the more you get out of stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
Right, final thing is to ask about careers. Now, we do a lot of these videos, and sometimes there's courses, and it's got like a set career path there. Like sometimes
yeah.
architecture, they become, hopefully an architect. Fine art doesn't strike me as having that kind of automatic route to something. Do you mind giving us an idea of what graduates might go on to do?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a term that's become very popular at the moment where it talks about creative industries, and that idea of how an industry works. And you're right, there isn't a paid job that's advertised as an artist, but ultimately that is our goal, that our students go on and become professional artists. And that often involves a number of tactics around it. So we look at social enterprise and being entrepreneurial. Quite often our students will have what's called a portfolio career. So they might have a number of jobs. Some are paying to support other opportunities. We have a lot of students that go into education, not only continuing their education through postgraduate, masters, and then at doctorate, PhD level, but also becoming educators themselves, so either primary, secondary, or higher education. We have students that go into work in galleries or museums. We have students, again, within that social entrepreneurial approach of setting up studios or studio groups or joining studio groups and becoming active in those areas. Equally, they then develop community-based or socially based practice, and indeed selling artwork. So there's actually quite a range of opportunities, I think, that are available for fine art students as they graduate. I think what is interesting is the students that are happy or excited to explore a path less trod are usually the ones that prove to be the most successful. And again, we try and we support that as the students develop through the 3 years, and we emulate modes of working that reflect how artists work following graduation.
This is exactly what these events are all about. In 15 minutes or so, we've got a really great snapshot in terms of what is involved when it comes to studying fine art at uni. So the final thing for me to do is just to say a big thank you to our speaker today, our guest expert, that's Dr. Simon Harris, joining us from the University of Wolverhampton.
Thank you.